Yo, what's happening, everybody? Just chilling here by myself, waiting for my good friend. My good
Scooter
friend.
Carl. I'm here.
As always, I am joined with my most loyal,
One-eyed friend.
the star screen of my Megatron, Carl. Say hello, Carl.
What's going on, guys?
So,
I am the one-eyed wonder of the TC, like the Transformers game group.
the Earl of the Scooter, the Duke of
Low Vision.
the Duke of Low Vision.
I'll crack jokes about it. I got some of the classmates today. It was absolutely hilarious.
What?
Like, it was kind of funny. It's like I'm sitting there, like I got a brand new set of headphones. Well, not a brand new, I got new headphones. They're Skull Candy Crusher Evos, and they vibrate like bass like no other. And I was totally like jamming out to some Rage, and I wasn't really paying attention to anybody. And they're like trying to get my attention, and I take my headphones off. I was like, "Oh, I didn't see you there," and everybody kind of like cracked up laughing. I was like, "No, I really didn't see you." So it was entertaining to say the least.
I've got my trusty Grimlock glassware.
Oh, nice. Me, Grimlock. King.
Did you ever get some of these?
Nope.
I thought you got the Decepticon ones.
No, I remember Grant won a set. We had that kid at a ToyCon that was super excited when he saw him and bought him. It was actually probably thanks to his mom. His mom saw him and was like, "Oh yeah, I want those."
What's up, Brandon? The Duke of Low Vision. Hey, so check this out. We got a lot of things to talk about and little time to talk about them. So, you ready, Carl?
I am ready.
Let's talk about it. That was nice. Hey, so like I said, we got a lot to talk about. We got a whole section where we want to take a look at all the new announcements Xtb has made because there's an abundance of them. It's like they've been locked away during COVID, just making little CAD designs of figures, and they're like, "Hey, screw it, let's make them."
I mean, they're really prepping for 2022 for sure.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't want to get too into it yet. I'm just touching on the topics that we're gonna speak on, I suppose. And of course, anything that anyone hanging out with us in the chat wants to talk. Thanks, man. I drew the intro myself. Not. I use programming. Talk about some of the conventions that are coming up in the future and near future. Some of the movies and pop that's come out. You haven't seen Suicide Squad yet, but have you seen the first one?
I have seen the first one, sadly.
I thought the first one sucked.
It was awful.
But this one was a lot of fun to me.
That's what I've heard. So I've watched a lot of spoilers, and I mean, I don't know everything about it, but I mean, the reviews have been nothing but positive. Nobody's trashed anything. So yeah, it'll be fun to talk about.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to actually watch it.
Well, it wasn't on Google. It wasn't on Google Play yet. Like Mortal Kombat was on there. I don't have HBO Max, so if anybody wants to lend me your password, wink, wink, nod, nod, nudge, nudge. I'm done with exams after Wednesday.
What?
Hit me up.
I might be able to help you out with that. Do they limit accounts anymore? Like,
I don't know. I still got to see Godzilla vs. Kong, Wonder Woman 84, even though I know it was trash. Like I said, Mortal Kombat, Suicide Squad. I still need to watch the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff I need to watch.
King Kong, Godzilla, that was a good movie too. I really like that one. And so, I don't know, let's talk about some of the conventions, possibly. So you were telling me about the Facebook page for the Unicon convention that we had a booth at last year, and we will have a booth at this year.
Which was called ToyCon, and then it switched over to being Unicon because it wants to bring in more than just toys and collectibles. It's now branching into sports and entertainment.
Entertainment, like they had some. Who they have? Like they had what's his name from a Never Ending Story there, Atreyu.
Yeah, Atreyu. Well, yeah. They were going to have a bunch of people from ET, but they bowed out because of COVID. There's a whole bunch of wrestlers that were there. But like now there's been a lot of, I mean, I don't know what to call them. I mean, they're retired football players. There's a lot of them that have been signed up that are going to be doing it. There's a lot of sports things going on for this event that are starting to creep in. I think the closer it gets, the more people will get signed up. They just added
a lot of Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders and Cowboys.
I suppose that makes sense since the Raiders are in Vegas now.
Yeah, well, it does make sense.
Here's our Facebook page.
Yep.
If anybody wants to, let me see if I can drop a link in the comments. If anybody wants to check it out. Yeah, there we go. You should be able to click that link in the comments if you want to see it. Here's some of the people I got coming. Neil Ross, one of the freaking most iconic voice actors for decades. Did Wolverine from the 90s X-Men to some Springer, Six Shot, G.I. Joe's, Dusty. So
they have the entire TMNT animated lineup pretty much. They've got
that's right.
Bebop, the Four Turtles.
All right, I'm trying to get back to the page where I can actually see it. Oh, here we go. The voice of Ahsoka from Star Wars. She's going to be there. The voice actor that does Mickey Mouse is going to be there, and Winnie the Pooh. But I guess he's kind of old. Scott Hall, if you're into wrestling.
He was just introduced like last week.
Chico.
Rico's flying.
Yeah. I don't think I've watched wrestling since then. And as you had mentioned to me, let me scroll down here. We've already got way down the comments. Hey, click that link and then make a comment under this post and bump us to the top. Look at that. Our group is represented at this con.
Yeah, you can even see my name is already there. I've already liked it.
Oh, yeah. And me. I don't know who those other guys are, but they just posted it like a couple days back or something. But hey, it's our group, man. I love it. You know, this whole thing started with just about me, really, for me. But it almost instantaneously, and you know, Carl, we talked about it and stuff. I changed the way I wanted to view it. I wanted more community. I know we got lots of games and all that stuff, but you know, I do things like this because I want to have community. I see some of these other groups that are so mean to each other and snide and all that stuff, and nothing wrong with that. It's just not my vibe, man. I want to just hang out and have a good time. There's not that many of us really, so can't be hating too much for too long on each other, right? I don't care if you're a Bayformer, G1, Beast Wars, doesn't matter. You like KOs, you like official, you like third party. It's all good in my wheelhouse. I love it all.
Oh, we just might have issues if you like GoBots more than Transformers, but you know, to each their own.
Well, true. And that being said, that's a good segue, man, right into talking about the XTB stuff. You ready to talk a little bit about them?
Yeah, let's do it.
that one too. It was longer than I thought.
Still looks good though.
It looks cool, right? Yeah,
I dig it.
we're learning.
So
Uh,
as I would say, as people are well aware, for those of you who've been looking on Facebook, it has probably the last 2 weeks, if not, I would say safely the last month and a half, has been a barrage of new releases, and
mhm.
I guess we can say that it's X-Transbot / KFC's turn. And I will say this: like, I have not been a fan of X-Transbots, but I am really, really excited for what they've just done. I'm very excited.
Yeah, let's take a little peek at it. Speaking of GoBots, let's start with that one. We're going to use TF Source, maybe some Show Z for pictures, even
Nice.
though we are
Psych.
not affiliated with or receive money of any sorts or toys from them.
True.
But they have a lot of pictures. So, what do you think of Cycle? Sidekill, I'm sorry.
I think he's really cool because like what was it, that Robo Toys or whatever was the only one that did it, and they had like their small version and their oversized version, which a lot of people liked.
The oversized version was real solid and real clean, man.
It was a
it
big
was good.
step up. This
Yeah.
obviously you can tell they're really using that Junkion mold, but it really, really works. This looks awesome.
Yeah, do you think they're just kind of like putting together Junkions? Are like, oh man, I bet if we just paint it different uh, and put a basic body on it, we could milk another figure out of it.
I really think so. Because it works really, really well.
I mean, the motorcycle itself, I don't think that looks like Psykill from the GoBot.
No,
but
because he had high handlebars.
this is going to be this would be for me. And I played with GoBots too, but you know, as soon as Transformers came out, it's like Atari versus Nintendo. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Nobody wanted Atari anymore; they wanted Nintendo. So it's the same thing. But I had him, and you know what? I didn't even get into these for long enough to um, learn all their names really.
Well, that's Psykill. But like I was really big into it when they came out with their movie like GoBots versus the Rock Lords, because
Yeah.
in England we had I was able to get a lot of those Rock Lords. Like I remember getting Gold Nugget.
I think I had a Rock Lord
I had a lot of them.
collecting rocks. Well, let's see. TF Source has him for 120 as a pre-order. Like I said, I'm not like advertising for them, but I'm just
with this was basically it's just using the Junkion mold, and they just, and as Tim's going to get into, I think they issued 3 more or 4 more Junkions.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a little excessive. I mean, because we've got 6 right now, you know, so you've got Retgar and then 5 others. If people don't know, or if you've been living under a rock or a pile of junk, what's cool about these figures is that you can literally pop off elbows, arms, knees, legs, and you can literally make your own Junkion, and it will still transform. That is something that nobody ever does. So even when you're like, there's not much of a difference between this one versus this one, doesn't matter. You mesh 2 together. There's really something that you can do with these guys. And they're really cool. Like I've got 2 of them out right now, and I've got 2 that are still sitting in box, and I've got the other 2 showing up soon. But yeah, these are very playable, and most people will consider this to be KFC's best figures.
Yeah, a lot of people like Transistor, but I think once there's a more modernized, updated, maybe die cast, better paint, etc. version, there's going to be a lot of him up for sale. You know what I mean?
Well, these guys, so the first set of Junkions already kind of like went on sale like last Black Friday. They dropped down to like $99.99 or something like that. Shozy put them on sale. I mean, I would think they would do better. That looks really cool to me. That looks very different from a lot of the others. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like it's a little excessive on the Junkion market, which they're kind of, to me, I think they're going to be the next wave of the Make Toys headmasters, like that Iron Will and Cupola that are like always on sale. I see these as being the next items for that, just because you've saturated yourself. What is that?
Yeah, his one of his tires turns into a weapon.
It's like a pincer. Wow.
Yeah, kind of wild.
That is awesome.
Zoom, zoom. Yeah, see, there's the handle, and I would imagine that this is the one that splits. There's a hinge there.
Mm-hmm. Which is creative. You gotta give X Transbots creativity points.
I mean, and there's how many is that? One. That's 3 already.
I think there's a total of like 7 or 8 now. Because you've got A through F was already released, I think, and now you've got like 3 or 4 more.
Mm. I mean, all the motorcycles look pretty much the same. Which
it's one of 2 different versions. You're gonna have either one with the arm and struts, or you're not. That's really the 2 options that you're gonna have, which is pretty much using, Wheeljack, so what, Dump Yard and Crash Hog? Those are the 2 that you're pretty much using.
So this one here, his face reminds me of, like, you know, when you watch a Cybertron episode where they're on the planet and there's just random ones walking around in the background or running in a crowd. Like, it looks like one of those faces, like a generic, just, hey, draw something so we can fill this scene with robots kind of face. I like it because it reminds me of that, though.
And there are going to be people who want to army build, like they're going to want to recreate that scene from the movie when they're all just like popping out of, the piles of junk.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised they're not selling piles of junk. Every bot should come with a little bit of a pile of junk.
A little bit of trash.
A little bit of trash. Let's see. They got their G2 Motormaster.
Yeah, look at that paint job.
Yeah, how about that? And
still really
cool, though.
Yeah,
I wouldn't drive it.
So here's what's interesting with this. You can actually take, if you have both versions, if you have Gravestone and you have Road King, you can actually take Gravestone's gun and it will fit in Road King's hand, because Road King's gun was a little on the small side. So this one, being a lot larger, actually does work. And there's the trailer.
Yeah. What is this? Poker chips? What is this?
It's the G2 emblem that they did. Yeah.
Got a refrigeration unit vent up here.
So like Jason Bren, he's that. When you see fabricate like these customized Transformers, he did the G2 version of like the Maverick and Road King. And if you want to see someone interesting, he did a really, really good repaint of Road King to look like the G2 colors. It was really impressive. And if X Transbots or Keith saw that, he really had to step up their game to mimic that one.
I feel like this is my least favorite compared to DX9.
Yeah.
I like the DX9 better. Look at them legs.
They're pretty small.
What's going on right here? It's just shells.
They're rather hollow. I didn't think they were like that.
It's completely hollowed out. That's strange. Same thing here. Huh.
It makes me think they're not the actual toy. They're little replica pieces.
Maybe
they're probably just 3D. Yeah, they're probably 3D prints.
Look at that. Look at the back of his legs here. People would be pissed if they were hollow like this.
Yeah, which tells you it's not even with the toys. This is like just like a 3D printed prop, kind of just showing you everything, because they know that it has stability issues. It's too heavy. And
you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that they snap into these, because look, I mean, it's got very specific little grooves and these little fake tires they got here.
Well, they did. So that's actually, you know what? You're right. So here's what those things were. When they sold the accessory kit, those were things to make. They were too small, so he had super small arms and stuff. So those are the things to make him look bulkier. So yes, they do snap into him. That was in the accessory kit.
So that's actually going to be within that trailer.
No, I doubt it. They're selling the accessory kit separate because the trailer's still the same $210 on shows.
So you're telling me you buy that trailer and you don't even get the fake cars?
Correct. You don't. That was a so the U.S. retailers, I believe, had it at like $230 for the trailer, and then it was like $49.99 or $59.99 for the accessory kit that came with like multiple heads, blast effects, a bigger gun, a bigger sword, or that foldable sword. And so they're just going to do the same thing, and they're milking it. So yeah, it's not coming with those. You have to buy those accessory kits separate to make them look bulkier.
If that's the case, that would be an easy pass for me.
Same.
I mean, come on. Well, let's look at this.
The one thing they did do right that I give them credit for is on the arms, especially. They painted the arms the same color as the bot that would go on there, and I think that was something that was smart that DX9 should have done.
What do you think of this guy?
Looking pretty good. It just looks like he's got typewriter hands.
Yeah. Seeker mode. Yeah, exactly.
True. That's a valid point.
Funding. Mark says funding run amok. So are those guns done in the same G2 colors? Let's find out.
They've already released all the G2. We've been just waiting on Gravestone to be the G2 blue. Everything else is already done for X-Transbots. The one that you're waiting on is DX9. They've only released, I believe, 3 of them in the G2 colors, and those are 3 of the Limbots. They still haven't done Capone or who's the other one? Was it Kakinski?
Capone was good.
I think he's amazing because the nice thing about Capone is that like you can literally have 2 bots. You can already have Menasor, and you can have
scroll down and just find them, but maybe they'll have it as a suggested item down here. Related.
What, DX9?
There we go. The youth version is what they call it. Or is that the toy version, isn't it?
It's toy version.
Yeah. Just in case you want to reminisce, I suppose. Huh. This is your G2 color scheme here. Death Wish.
Yeah, you can see the green and...
Mm-hmm. You know what you don't see? You don't see him in a mode of combined.
Nope.
There they are. There's a family shot.
Very old picture. Yeah, there's all 4 of them. I think the only one that looks good to me is Dragstrip in black. Like that to me is...
Yeah, that's kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
This kind of looks like Kang the Conqueror color scheme or something over here.
Green, purple, blue.
Blue, purple face, whatever.
Reminds me of tie-dye t-shirts.
Let's see. What else we got here? Boop.
Oh.
This is the Japanese version.
Yeah, so there's 2 different versions that they're doing. They're doing the American version that comes with more of a facial feature, and then the Japanese version has the prime head for their punch counterpunch, or as they call it their Bond and James.
James Bond.
I'm in on this.
Junior. Yeah. The flip.
That's really cool. Like this is a fan favorite figure that only had like 1 or 2 episodes, but was always really liked. And I believe he actually showed up in the same episode as Runabout and Runamuck.
Here is our American version. You filthy Americans. Well, looks pretty good though.
Yeah, he does.
I like the car mode.
I think it's a Fiero. But he'll look. I mean, I think it's gonna be really. I mean, it still looks more like a CAD rendering, so it's hard to tell. But I think it looks good. Like it's something that's really impressive. And I think the smartest thing that they did was they're gonna appeal to both markets, being the Japanese and the American. So that was definitely smart.
Yeah, with just a head swap.
Yeah, super simple. Well, I mean, I think there's I didn't look too hard, but they're saying there's a bit of a difference.
What do you think?
I'm in. So what's nice about this, they've done two things that Hasbro and Takara wouldn't do. So these guys actually match more with the cartoon and a toy because they are two different cars, but they do come out looking very similar. This is gorgeous to me. Like I think this is looking really, really good. So the question is just going to be, so like, here's my thought process. When they're Virtuous comes out, that's their Springer, that's probably going to tell me a bit about like what type of plastic quality they're going to use and everything else. So I'm still very interested in these guys, both Runabout, Run Amok, Punch, Counter Punch, and a few more that we'll be talking about. But I like this. I think this looks amazing. And they look different enough. You're not paying for the same figure twice. There are differences between Runabout and Run Amok, or as they call them, Fast and Fury.
Let's take a look.
And here's Fury. So you can see. So if you go to bot mode or the alt mode, you can see that it's a different vehicle.
Yeah.
So it's slightly different. It's not like there's a massive, drastic difference between the two, but it's enough to differentiate the two as not being like you're buying two Seekers.
Who's this?
You're welcome. Well, you're welcome too. What are we welcoming you for?
Oh, because they pushed hard. For some reason, their name isn't coming up, so I'm not for sure who we're addressing.
Well, I know Bobby Skullface wanted Runabout and Run Amok, and he's been pushing about it for years.
Personal favorites. Is this Mike? Yeah. Mike, I knew it, and he said it.
Which Mike?
Mike Lorber. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean, there was Terry Wong said that it was in production, and I'm interested in seeing that. I just watched Bobby's review. Like, I don't think Loki or Locke or however you want to pronounce him looks bad. It's just like that's just a terrible transformation. I'm happy with my coot.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you can't win them all.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm surprised we're not getting a little more hype on these. They look a lot better than the
the 2.0 versions.
The old KFC tapes. Looks pretty good to me. I want to know how this is coming together here, how that's transforming.
I have a feeling it's going to click together, like it's going to be two halves that come together.
Yeah.
Mike, are you like an inside man or something? Is there anything else we need to be aware of? Or are you just mail bombing Keith? He's probably got a spam account set up being like, you need to do this now. I'm tired of waiting. Nobody wants another Optimus Prime. Pick something else.
Yeah, the Perceptor. I was trying to scroll through to it, but
pre-orders aren't up for that yet. I don't believe. That was just on Facebook because that was posted this morning, which I would also be in on, but I'm already in on Tesla 2.0. But I would be tempted to pick them up for alt mode because Perceptor is pretty cool because I like nerds.
I'm sure we can find a picture here. Let's see.
Yeah, just go to Facebook and go to X Transpot's page. It's all on there, like one thing after another.
Here we go. Let's take a look. Let's see. What's it called? Jansen or something? I don't know. Jansen.
Janitor.
Chaz. I think he looks pretty damn good.
Yep. And what's nice about this for people, so just the same way that Fans Toys did Quietus, you would get your IDW version. They've got the IDW head for him too, which is really good. He looks slick. He doesn't look super thin. He looks well proportioned. So the question's going to be is if that blue is paint, plastic, same thing with the red. Like, have they painted anything? And this shouldn't be a complex transformation.
He's kind of thick right here.
True.
But I mean, that's just me trying to be critical. You know what I mean? Hello. Let's have some beer. I saw someone made a comment. Yeah, Brandon just beat me to the punch about the accessories that come along with him. I think they're fun.
Yes.
Fun as hell.
To me, it's the one thing that Fans Toys fails at. Their accessories are usually crap. The only time they've been good on accessories was Quietus.
I would like to point out that I feel like in this particular picture, he has his bottle upside down.
Because they're making it look like a martini glass. It's a beaker, but they're making it right now look like a martini glass on purpose.
Mike, do you have any input on that one? Did you push them to make a martini glass for Perceptor? I like that face too.
So it like we said, like if the build quality is good on this, or if the figures that come out before this are of a good build quality, this can easily put a run for, Fans Toys money on Tesla 2.0. I mean, the only thing that Tesla 2.0 is probably going to have on this is going to be the fact that I don't think this does the throwback to the Diaclone mode that Fans Toys is trying to incorporate. But this, I mean, nobody's going to put it in Diaclone mode. They're just going to want it in bot mode.
Look, he's got a tiny Perceptor.
He's got a tiny Perceptor. He's got a tiny Bumblebee and a tiny Brawn, yeah.
And they look pretty stupid good, man. They got to be tiny as hell. I mean,
there's only so much you can do when something's that small. I mean, it's not nearly as bad as those stupid little figures that came with HasLab Unicron. Those things were a joke.
Hey, do they transform? The little bitty ones?
No idea. Don't think so.
Yeah, that's from the episode where they shrank. Oh man, I got to go back. It makes me want to go back and watch some episodes. But to me, these are the kind of little accessories that get you to actually interact with your figures rather than just put them on a shelf to collect dust.
the standard A-frame stance.
Yeah, thinking outside the box is always welcome. He's really into himself.
So
look, they all articulate in multiple spots. You can see it in the pictures.
True.
I mean, for being so small.
Someone's dog is going to eat it, or someone's kid's going to step on it, or they're going to step on it.
I don't know, Brandon. The way these look, they look smaller than the Dr. Wu's.
I don't know the size of Dr. Wu. I know Dr. Wu's smaller than Legends.
Yeah. Ball joints definitely on them, but I mean, how much more can you really ask for? You know what I mean? Look at all this stuff that's coming with. That's a lot of loot.
Yeah, but it is.
Got his beaker, aka martini glass, 3 different head sculpts, 2, 3, 4, count them, 5 extra face plates.
And you also get 2 different head styles. So you get the IDW head that has a different visor, and then you get a regular one.
Like the eye patch scope looking. And this is some shots with him and MP44. Possibly the KO. I'm not for sure, but what difference does it make? And there is the microscope mode. I wonder if it's a working microscope.
The toy was, to an extent.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Very happy. I'm very happy to see XTB is producing some new exciting stuff that no one else is making except for Perceptor.
But it's been years since we've had a Perceptor.
Oh,
And
here's
that
some.
one's already got mold degradation.
I mean, I don't know who put the eye dots on these guys. Probably a machine.
It's
But
pretty.
Braun looks a little fucking jaggy right there.
They're super wide eyed. They've seen something they didn't want to see. They saw Megatron taking a bath.
Look, they got it. All right. They need to turn that upside down, the right way up at this point. Come on now. So these all fit into, what is this? His examination little.
Oh, was that okay? So when they were asking for the colors, was that also like the same time that they were fixing the colors for Springer, their Virtuous? Because like the colors seem to be slightly off. I'm wondering if they threw that in around there too. And that's what I give X Transbots credit for. Like they're really interacting with their fan base. Like the questions that they're asking, I think are good, and they're taking the feedback to heart. And I really like that. That's impressive to me.
Well,
Fans Hobby's done the same thing too.
here's and beyond that, fixing fuck ups. You know what I mean? Like I know here in the States we expect to be able to buy something, and if something's wrong with it or slightly flawed, we can take it right back to Walmart. You know what I mean? Exchange it, Target, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. We're not going to buy a defective looking tomato. But it's almost like that back in customer service up until Fans Toys became pretty popular with collectors because they backed up their stuff and they had replacement parts and they sent them out, and it wasn't a nightmare to contact a customer service type thing to get a replacement part, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that it's a brilliant move by any company from China that's producing these kind of things to make sure that the customers know they're supporting them.
Yeah. And they had to have taken a huge hit because they recalled everything. They wanted all the figures back.
Hey, look at this! You got a spring loaded blaster right there.
Oh wow! So if anybody got the upgrade kit to Double Evil, be very careful with those bullets because they fly. Oh, they did that. That is the Diaclone. So they are doing it. Okay.
Where's the little tiny robots? I want to see them.
Interesting. So whoever that is, who seemed like you got to match the colors. That was the time frame. That's true. I do remember that when they asked about more colors. That's cool. I think it looks good. He looks dynamic in poses. That's to me very impressive.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a fun figure.
Agreed.
For sure.
So we can go from super stoic moving poses to ones that don't.
Let me see here. What else we got on board here, Carl?
The Quinasan Judge.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So this one I'm sure everybody's seen the videos going around. So you get two different versions. You get one that looks the normal face, and the other one I'm assuming is that panic look when who was it? Snarl when Grimlock knocks down the door and crushes him. He's like, "Excuse me," and he's got that like traumatized look on his face. So you got two different versions to pick from. They're actually pretty well priced at about 125 each. Even shows these the same price. So they have a light up feature at the bottom, just like Dr. Egg. This time around, the mouth actually moves when it speaks, and then the tentacles will just kind of spin around. They kind of sound like they're a little, in my opinion, to be perfectly honest, they sound loud. and they remind me of the bath toys we used as kids that used to be able to like push themselves and paddle through the water. That's what it sounds like. But I think these look really good. I'm in for the one that just has the normal face.
You like the other one.
I do.
In
That's
other
just
words,
a little awkward to me, like the eyes and the mouth. I'm just like, okay.
he's got like the Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
Well, there were multiple judges, or
there's two of them. Yeah, there's one with the stoic face, and there's one with that face. But everything else is the same. They say the same exact things. They did a poll because they can't use the term Sharkticon. Yeah, that's the one I'm in for. Because people were just like, oh, why did it say Sharkbot? I was like, well, they don't have the rights to saying Sharkticon. They're already using clips from the movie, but they don't want to do anything to endanger anything else, being smart. And so they asked if they wanted Sharkbot or something else. And I was just like, you can say both. I'm fine with either because everything else is fine. But I think that looks really good. I like that.
It's time to have a masterpiece scale Sharkticon.
Yes. Yes, please. And I think they on one of the boxes I've got, I think it was actually Dr. Egg, they do have that Alicon, I think, was one of the ones that's on there. So I have a feeling that's coming next. So if they do that, if they can do a Gnaw, I'd be very, very happy.
I think if I mean the gimmicks are cool and all, but that's mostly because I would assume these don't transform in any way, so you got to add a little pizzazz there.
I mean, that could have left out the rotating arms. They could have left off.
But the Sharkticons, I would like to not see lights or any kind of like electronics.
I don't think you would.
Just make it good. Make it affordable so you can army build.
Yeah.
Because that's what people are going to want to do, right?
If X Transbots does do those, I think those would be like $85, $90 figures. I would hope for less, but with the market right now, I think it's probably going to be in that price range if they do them.
Mike says it's a poll for the next figure, not the phrase.
No, it said the phrase because if you look, I watched it like 20 times. It says because we don't have I read it. They don't have the licensing rights to do that. They're trying to avoid that. I thought it was the phrase.
But look at his next comment.
Well, really? Damn. Sorry.
Hey, what are you gonna do? Hey, okay, so let's
Then it's so just a quick question. So it's a choice basically between the Alicon and Gnaw, right? That's what it is? Or is it the Sentinel that was guarding the jail cell? Is that who it is? Because those are three different bots. Because you got the Ba Weep, Grana, Weep, Ninibon ones that are Alicons that basically capture Cup and Hot Rod. Then you've got Gnaw with the Sharkticons, and then you've got the other dude that was guarding the prison cells when they took that one dude from the very first episode or the very first snap of the scene that was the last survivor of Crystal or whatever it was. And this is where I get no response.
He said yes.
That doesn't help. He just says yes. Ooh, Alicon or Shark? Ooh, man, that made it rough. Because I like both.
Hey, you have that poll up? If you can throw a link down there for people.
I know I already voted. I said both. Because I think that's what it's going to be. Who's calling in?
It's Mike. Hold on. Oh, I hung up on him.
Why would you do that?
I didn't mean to. Mike, give me a ring back if you want. Actually, hold on, Mike. We'll get you back on. We'll get you on here if you got a video camera. Well, okay. Here we go. All right. I'm going to put you on speakerphone, see how this works. What's up, Mike?
Yes.
See?
Okay.
What's cracking?
So everybody can hear me. Okay. Here's what's going on. All right. The poll is for the next figure. Okay. So either you pick a Sharkticon or an Alicon. See, I had to change the name because X-Transbots can't use the official name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, copyright reasons, and, don't want anybody to get sued. So,
Did you hear that?
Pick
Yes.
the Shark Robot or the Gator Con or both, right? So, it's kind of too late to change the phrase now, right? Because Keith had hired somebody to do the voice acting with lines and whatnot. So that's what that's all about. So there's some interesting stuff going on with X-Transbots, just to let you guys know, so you got the scoop. Groove, the next Protectobot to come out, I forget the name that they're going to use, that's been delayed for October. Log Cup is now in production right now, okay? So, updated pictures will be coming out soon. The reason for Groove being delayed is because, he wants to make things right for the fans, and he wants to get locked out as soon as possible, because he knows everybody's been waiting for that.
Yeah.
Springer, he found a flaw, so there's a little bit of a redesign going on. So that's why Virtus or Springer has been delayed quite a while, right? So, but it will come out. Hotspot might be January at this point because things have been delayed. Another Omnibot reveal should be fairly soon. And look out for Deathsaurus. That should be making a special appearance soon.
So I guess, Mike, I have one question. Because of when they were posting all those pictures for Springer, they included those two little mini human figures. Did that allude to them doing an Ultra Magnus?
Yes. there are plans for an Ultra Magnus. Because obviously, if the human is out, then there's plans for an Ultra Magnus.
Man, I'm telling you, like,
Erotimus or Nercy, but I really can't say.
Any of those are good options.
I will say this, like, with the way X-Transbots and /KFC is going, like, and I said this before and people try and shun me for it, but I really feel like that gap between them and fans' toys is shrinking exponentially. Like, it's something that I'm really impressed with. Like, the releases that they're doing, the fact that they're listening to their fans, they're doing, and if you're the one who's kind of working for that Western market for us, being that voice for us, like Tim and I were saying, that's huge for the consumer, because like all we've seen from fans' toys has just been like, if you go to their website, it says something big is coming. That's been that way for a year. Fans Hobby does little things here or there, but we haven't heard anything from Make Toys. But actively, I've been able to participate and even comment back and forth on that X-Transbots Facebook page. And I think that speaks volumes. And to still have the backing behind them for what happened with Locke or Loki or their version of Cup, I think that speaks volumes about the integrity of the company. And to me, that's something that I'm excited to see for the future, because they just did a whole bunch of bots that I'm actually interested in. So if you're the mediator for them for here, then I just want to say thank you.
Oh yeah, he's going to actually join us here shortly, and maybe he can go into a little more of it.
Well, I know he's only going to be able to say so much. I mean, there's things that we can infer, like an Alicon and a Sharkticon. Those are two very cool things to do, because nobody else has done it.
True. But save it, because we're going to force it out of them. Right? Now, we have a friend from the group that I want to bring on. He's been waiting for just a moment here. He might be ready to go to sleep. I don't even know. But
he's East Coast
Mark's
now.
been here with us before, but he's moved into a new spot, and I was kind of curious. I saw some pictures he posted in the group, and I wanted to see a little more of his collection that he brought on. So if you don't mind, let me play this goofy little clip. Hey, that looks like that guy. What's up, Mark?
Oh, just it's midnight.
What time is it out there?
Midnight.
Oh,
But it's all good.
burning the long one.
You're used to working overnight.
Yeah, that's true.
So, give us a tour of the new spot. Let's see this. Man.
Okay. Let me see if I can figure this thing out. Hang on. I'm gonna try to flip it. Is that one? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah. Very nice. Nice long run of shelves too.
Oh, this isn't my basement. My basement's where my PlayStation and stuff are. I can't see you guys. If I hit this X, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But anyway.
Hold on, let me put it up. Oh, wrong screen. Stop screen.
If I hit this.
There we go.
There we go. Oh, I can see you guys. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the Peter Cullen, Frank Welker signed poster I won from Tim.
Yeah.
And then all that surrounds it are drawings from Bobby Skullface that he signed for me.
Nice.
So if I back up, there's 10 of them, I think. Yeah, 10. And it's kind of surrounding it.
You got an Overlord's drawing there, and you just won Overlord.
Oh yeah, and he is a big bastard. Barely fits. He's kind of doing the doo-doo squat, but he's in there.
Yeah, Carl has the same struggle with his Overlord, or used
and then
to.
I have this thing, and I guess I might have to get the Judge guy.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna get Mike back on here shortly.
You gotta ask him why this thing's so loose. If I pick him up, he dances. It's annoying. And then here's my miscellaneous. Don't mind that. I'm still working on that. But my miscellaneous stuff.
I like the shield for sure.
Oh, my wife got me that a couple years ago.
That's awesome.
And then I got my cat running around. But I just did this. I sent it to Carl. Working on some McFarlane DC.
Oh, I like your robins in the air there, leaping.
Yeah. He's a pain in the ass to get them to stay. And then I got the Ecto 1. I knew it was going to be too small, but it's really small.
Well, it gives a lot of room. It gives more room for your figures to kind of be shifted around, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm still figuring that out. I just ordered the other wave of the new movie guys. And I just got shipping notification that my spot's going to be filled with April O'Neil.
Nice.
The new NECA one?
Yep, she's coming Saturday, I think. And if I back up, you can see I have more mess over there. Don't worry. My Beast Wars, the cups I won from Tim.
You're not drinking out of them?
No, those are. I don't want my son to scratch them.
Oh.
And then you hear that they KO'd this guy?
Oh, Tarn? No,
yeah,
they KO'd the fans, the Flame Toys version. Yeah, he's $180.
That's the Flame Toys one I won from Tim, and now they KO'd it.
Wow.
Yeah, but there was also a lawsuit where Flames Toys said that they canned somebody, so I don't know if, they would come after them and have that production halted. So I'd be kind of hesitant to jump on that pre-order.
Oh, I'm not getting it. I don't know how to flip this thing back. There we go.
Kitty. I think I see some kibble on the top of that shelf over there for the cat.
Where? Oh, that's my buddy. He's always hanging out with me.
How do I do this where I'm not the massive head on the screen? I'm still working on this, okay? There we go. So are you looking to pick up any more of those XTB figures?
I'm going to get Runabout, Run Amok, maybe Punch, Counterpunch. I guess I'll get one of the Judges.
You do some research on the Punch, Counterpunch. When we were having that talk, you were kind of lost on who he was.
Yeah, I'm too young, I guess, for a lot of this. I was born in '88, so I'm trying to figure it out as I go, I guess.
Oh,
and
hey.
I got those 52, the Starscream, and it's actually a good figure. I got a good one.
Is that the Takara or?
Yeah, I got the Takara one. I don't want to flip around again, but there it is.
Hey, I'm gonna bring our buddy Mike into the stream now. I don't have a buffer screen for you, Mike. I apologize. But
hello, you beautiful people.
Yo.
You magnificent bastard, you.
Mike, are you in Canada?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry or you're sorry?
It's the shipping that gets expensive up to Canada.
It does. Thank you, Justin Trudeau.
All right. Well,
it's like, are we paying international rates for talking to you?
Yes, you are. But it's worth it.
So we were talking about Runabout and them, and we have you to thank for that a lot.
I suppose. Yeah, since well, let's put it this way. This December coming up, it'll be 2 years working with Keith.
Oh wow.
So it's been rather interesting. It's been a very interesting journey. Yeah, well, how should I start? I mean, the first project that it got me on was Dr. Egg. So you know, as obviously you know, that's out now. Shortly after that, I was working on The Prosecutor, and actually a few months ago, I worked on, you know, the other alternate prosecutor, you know, with the different face from the episode "Money Is Everything," you know, where that smuggler guy goes on to the Quinasan planet with Marissa Fairborn, and if you pay attention in the episode, there's that alternate Quinasan prosecutor guy there. So yeah, so that's where he shows up. So there are a few things I can tell you. All the figures that are being revealed now, it was with a lengthy talk with Keith. Pretty much after the whole trailer debacle, right? With the accessories that came along with the trailer and how that all came about, and really kind of trying to help Keith. I don't want to say save his image, but kind of like help improve it, right?
Calm the waters.
So, you know, there are a few things I can tell you. First of all, Keith doesn't mind being number 2 behind Fans Toys, right? He's quite comfortable being number 2, right? I don't know why. You would think that normally guys would want to be number 1, but you know, I think he kind of has an idea where he is with everything. Sounds kind of odd, but yeah, he doesn't mind. But we had
any big industry. Number 2, I mean, come on now. That's
yeah. In a way, he kind of likes to fly under the radar, so to speak.
Right.
This is not flying under the radar with this many releases. This is making a splash.
Well, yeah, you know, yeah. Since the whole trailer thing, you know, he knows that a lot of people were not happy with the price, and then, you know, the accessory pack that kind of came separate, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a whole thing about that. So, and then of course with what happened with Cup with Locke. So we had a long talk, kind of like in between there, where I told them, like, you know, look, there are a lot of people that are unhappy. There are a few things that you can do now in order to kind of like, you know, redeem yourself to the fans, right? You know, one of the things are you have to like really hunker down on QC, which is, you know, a major thing, obviously. Because I know, you know, there are some people that, you know, do have quite a bit of issues with some of the releases that have come out, you know. I mean, it's no different than any third-party company, but for some odd reason, it seems to be, and I'm not putting down X-trans bots whatsoever, but it does seem to be at times a little epidemic, right? So that was one of the things I mentioned. Like, if you're going to really save yourself, you're going to really hunker down on QC and answer those emails that come in, no matter how small the problem is. I said, you're not Fans Toys, but you can be like Fans Toys if you really hunker down on those two major issues, right? Answering your emails with Mrs. Zhao, I think that's how you pronounce her name, and really watch out for the tolerances on plastic on your quality control. Like really put it under a microscope. I also mentioned do some research, buy some of the other figures that are out there, right? Like Fans Toys or DX9 or any of the other ones, Zeta and Toy World and whatnot, and look how they build their figures, right? Like what type of ratchet set they use, what kind of swivels and whatnot. So a lot of stuff is going into it. Then I told them, if you want to redeem yourself, make some money back from losing some money, then I said, look, you want to hunker down on a few figures. So Run Amok and Runabout was one of them, right? Because no other third-party company has done them. And I said, you want an easy moneymaker, and I'm sorry to put it that way, but let's face it, it's a moneymaker, right? Yeah. Nobody's done it.
Do what people
might as well do it.
And do what hasn't been done.
Exactly. Well, that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
How many years have gone by now that fans have asked for those two figures and nobody's touched them, looked at them, breathed on them, or anything like that, right? So I said, do those two. All right, you have to do those two. What was the other thing? There was like so many others. Omnibots. I teased that Omnibots and the Deluxe Insecticons. I don't know if he might do the Deluxe Insecticons. He might, only because he's doing the Omnibots, right? It's a possibility. So, but don't hold your breath. I don't know exactly. Protectobots, yeah, well, obviously they're out now, but I kind of pushed that because they were my first combiner. So I really wanted those that bad.
Yeah, a lot of people were waiting for them to kind of wrap up on those too.
Well, yeah, because again, no other third-party company has really touched them except for Make Toys, and that was like, way back when, right? So, and they're not even really proper masterpiece size on top of that, right? Yeah, everybody has touched Combaticons, and a lot of people have touched Aerial Bots and the Constructicons, and they just got the Sundicons out of the way, along with Fans Toys and anybody else. So I'm like, tackle those guys. Nobody's done them. So, and well, I mean, now MMC has, and they have.
But the Protectobots are probably I'd say the second favorite behind Superion. Like I still think more people talk about the Protectobots over Computron. Like to me, Computron's kind of boring, but I think the Protectobots have been something that people have been eagerly awaiting. Like I'm a Decepticon fan. Like I'm eagerly awaiting an MP scaled Abominus.
Yeah.
I think a big, massive. What am I thinking? With Hunger.
Yeah, that's Abominus.
Yeah, is that what you said?
Yeah, Abominus.
Yeah. Big, massive one. That'd be awesome.
But I think the other thing that people are waiting on, because everybody's now scared of Make Toys, like the rumor has that they're done, they're closing up shop. That now leaves the big hole that they were going to do with the Target Masters and then finishing off those Headmasters. If obviously we're not going to see that for years from Fans Toys. I think that's another market that could easily be filled because people are really scratching for that.
That's one thing. Like a few months ago, I sent Make Toys an email. I haven't heard anything back from them, so I don't know what's going on with them. If anything, what I would like to suggest to Keith is for his KFC line do those target masters, right?
Yeah.
And headmasters. So, fill in those gaps. Don't bother with, we already got Maka
Chrome
Twisted
Dome and Iron
Spectrum,
Grill, yeah. I got
right?
them.
So, do the other guys. Fill in that gap, right? So, I can tell you right now, the Power Master planes, what was it, Darkwing and the other guy. I always forget his name. They're in redesign. What else? The Quinasan Executioner has been put on the back burner for now, along with Autobot X and probably Elita 1. For now. Just for now.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff you guys are doing right now. I mean, like, if you got to put the cart before the horse, it's kind of rough. So, I mean,
yeah.
Like, I'm already impressed with what's been released now because we also haven't had a convention for a long time. So, like, I guess this is also smart to do because this creates reassurance that, you're still around.
Totally.
Well, I'm excited for what they got coming for sure.
I'm just getting, like, Executioner, like, what would that be, a static figure pretty much? Because what does he even transform into?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Well, you could even have some of the Cybertronian or the the little scientist guys.
Yeah, exactly. Right. When I was gathering all the material of the Quinasans for Keith, I sent him every Quinasan I could find in season 3. Mm-hmm. So, not just obviously the judges and the prosecutor, but yeah, the executioner. I already knew that was kind of in the plans. The scientists, the security guards, if you remember seeing them. Yep. I think there was also another scientist variation, and the one from Madman's Paradise, the sorcerer. So, but I don't think you might see that one. Yeah, so that might be a long shot.
But if they did stuff like that, what I would see as being better, the ones that don't transform, sell that as like a 3-pack. Like, kind of like how, Frankenstein isn't going to be that big of a thing. Like, it doesn't need to transform. It just needs to have a little bit of articulation.
Yeah.
I think something like that can help you create a diorama is probably more ideal for figures like that.
True. There is a 3-pack of the judges planned. So I know a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot. I know there are some people out there that don't like all the the flashy lights and the gimmicks and all that kind of stuff. And I can understand that, right? So one thing I suggested to Keith, so that these figures are affordable or accessible to like everyone, I mentioned why not do this, right? The Dr. Egg, which has all the lights and sounds and blah blah blah, have that as the premium version, right? And then do another one, because there is a 3-pack that is planned. Do that as just a normal version, without the voices, maybe without the lights, maybe have a light. I don't know, that you can just switch on, switch off, and just have that like as a normal version at a lower price, right?
With a double A battery.
Yeah, exactly. Just have a simple battery in it, and instead of the die cast, substitute it with plastic, right? Mm-hmm. So to bring down some of the costs and whatnot. I think you might be considering that. So he is showing a little bit of a concern that maybe the prosecutor might not sell as well because of all the lights and gimmicks and whatnot. He there's a reason why he does do it, right? First of all, to show that it can be done.
Yep.
And second of all, because he is a fan. and he wants to take it as far as he can go to make a very memorable figure, right? So I kind of see it from both points of views, right? In one way, you want to make something as awesome as possible, with what you can with the figure, right? And because also it doesn't transform into anything, it's basically a floating egg, right? So that being the case, he wanted to add those gimmicks because it doesn't transform.
So
right?
just as like kind of a question, the issue with the trailer was that it was over-engineered. And sometimes it comes down to where less is more.
Right.
Like for me, for the next release, the thing that I would probably drop is because those tentacles are already super articulated.
Right.
I don't think the circular movement is good. As I don't know if you heard me what I said before. It just reminds me of the old bath toys because it's really, really loud. The fact to me that the mouth already moves won me over. I thought that was fantastic. I think the voices were great. I think the phrases that were chosen were great. I just don't see the need for the arms to move when those tentacles can already, just the same way as like on Dr. Egg, the tentacles move really, really well. And so that's the only thing that I would say is just get rid of, I don't need the tentacles to spin like this.
Exactly.
In 99.99% of the time, they're going to be in a static position.
Yeah.
Knowing I can move them myself later on. So if I wanted to change something else, I could do it. Yeah, that's the only thing that I would say. It's just that I know he wants to do it, but like we said, sometimes less is more.
True.
And it's a hard thing. If you're passionate, I love it.
Yeah. The arm spinning, I will admit, that actually did take me by surprise. Because initially, when talking to him about this, I thought it was just going to be the mouth moving and voices and the lights. And when, like over a month ago, when he sent me the video, I wasn't allowed to release it yet, until the appropriate time. And I'm seeing the tentacles move. I'm like, huh. Well, that's interesting.
I think it's interesting. I wish, or maybe they will. I'm not for sure with the remote rather than a switch on the figure where you turn it on and off.
Oh yes, that's right. Okay, so with Dr. Egg, you had the Quinasan ship. Okay,
right.
With the prosecutor. Okay. Now, as far as I know, this is kind of what we planned.
My guess was going to be the Junkyard ship.
It is gonna be another ship, but it's going to be the scientist ship, or was it the battle cruiser? Quinasan battle cruiser, I believe it is. I can show you a picture if I can find the picture. But anyway, I'll
while you're looking for that, I think Mark has a question for you too, Mike.
Yeah, go for it.
I can't stand this thing. Hold on.
Don't tell me it's late.
No, that one, I hate that one too, but it's this. If I pick him up, he dances, and it drives me nuts.
Who is it?
Blaster, the new one that just released.
Oh,
okay.
He's got nothing to do with that. That was before his time, man.
Fix these, please.
Get some Kiki, man. That's all you got, man. Kiki.
That's right. He's dancing the jig.
But I have this, and it doesn't do anything because it's annoying.
What do you mean it doesn't do anything? Did you put a battery in it?
Oh, I did, but it's annoying. It just doesn't shut up sometimes because that thing died, and I couldn't figure out how to turn the stupid thing off, and it was up top, so it just kept talking and talking. I was like, Jesus Christ.
You guys,
it's haunted. It's like the ghost of Starscream, except for it's a
extremely annoying.
That's right. At least yours did not explode from putting in a bad battery.
No, I put in the one that was in the stupid instructions that I had to order for like $14 or something.
Did that happen?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, because of what happened last year with one guy putting in a AA battery or something like that, and then tried to charge it, and then kaboom.
So I might be asking something silly or trivial, or maybe I've just never put it together myself, or you may not know. I'm not for sure. But as far as batteries go in these things, they don't ever consider like Do they not use AAAs or AA's over there, or?
Well, as far as I know, they do. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why they would not just use a AA battery, or at least say, "Hey, get a rechargeable AA battery." I really honestly could not answer that question.
I was just curious.
So, what about blasters tapes? Are they going to be little things?
That's kind of on the KFC side. So I mainly deal with the X-Transbot side. The only difference between KFC and X-Transbots, and this is what Keith told me, is they have two designers, right? One that does X-Transbots and one KFC. And on top of that, the only other difference besides that is Keith wanted his name on one logo and he named the other X-Transbots, and that's all I know.
Wow. So there's only two designers.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's only two designers.
That's a lot tighter than I would have imagined.
Yeah, 589 Robots, and the other one I have no faintest idea who it is. So
damn.
Yeah.
Still impressive.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on and helping us get some more of the inside scoop. It's much appreciated.
It's really cool. Like I said, I'm very intrigued as to which direction they're going. And I think with X-Transbots, I think that was with the Junkions from KFC, I think that was a defining moment for Keith when hardware really changed in quality of plastic. Because you're mentioning like going through like different companies.
Yeah.
I describe Fans Hobby as the only company that you can transform and play with. They may not have much paint, that's obvious, but you can transform them and you can play with them because they have a very durable plastic. Nobody's playing with Fans toys. That is being opened and sitting on a shelf, or it is basically sitting in a closet because somebody's going to be using it as currency.
Well, exactly, right? And that's the way why Keith designs the figures the way he designs it. Because he wants people to essentially, play with it, right? Use it, move it around and stuff like that, right? So, I mean, granted, no third-party figure is perfect. I mean, even Fans Toys has its flaws, and I love Fans Toys, right? I mean, I'm not gonna just be the cheerleader for one team. I like what I like, and and I even told Keith that, no, you're not Fans Toys, and I do collect them, so I'm gonna point out what's wrong with you, and I'll point out the same thing what's wrong with Fans Toys, but. But you're totally right. When people get Fans Toys, it's either stays in the box or, for selling later on because, it's going to go up in price because it's Fans Toys, or, it's true. It's Fans Toys,
Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I've got another question for you, Mike. You did the scale poster. Have you done more of those since then?
Okay, well, I've done all the way up to the Aligned Universe.
Well, he's got one way behind him. He's got one way back there in the background. And he just got like a ridiculous amount of characters for scale.
Yeah, sorry, because it's,
you see
that one there.
It's hard to see, but you can get on his page and stuff and see him.
Yeah, that one actually I got signed by Peter Cullen and Frank Wilker. So
it's got Metroplex and Triptychon on it.
Yes. And then well, you can't quite see it, but over my fireplace I got the Japanese series. So I've done every line from G1 all the way to the Aligned Universe. And then after that, I made the G1 up to season 4 planetary scale chart, so which was quite fun. So because well, I mean, I'm quite fortunate to run into like a lot of people. I got a source of a guy from Japan that actually gave me a lot of the production scale charts that were used from season 2, which a lot of people haven't seen here in North America. So, we're just familiar with the scale chart, the Sunbow scale chart that is in the Arc book that Jim Sorensen put out quite a few years ago. So if you look in the back of the book, there is, that kind of rudimentary kind of scale chart, but it doesn't encompass all of the characters from, season 1, 2, and 3, right? And it has a few from season 4. So what I did is I went on a big ass hunt, and I got in contact with a person in Japan, and he had a lot of the pieces that I was missing, like the official production charts for the Combaticons and the Protectobots that I never seen before, and I don't think a lot of people in North America have seen, so I keep that nicely tucked away. And when I checked with the chart that I had already done, I had found that I was off by between 1% and 3%. So
that's not bad for standard error.
That's not bad whatsoever. That's pretty damn good. Yeah. So when I went through all the material that I had before I actually got this material from Japan, the way I did it was this, right? There were like, a couple of production companies that did the animation, as we all know. So what I did was find out who was the most consistent during the animation, and from that, I kind of determined, okay, then the proper scale should be this, because obviously they went by that particular production scale chart. So only to get the material later on to find out, I was pretty damn close. So, and then I did the same thing with the Japanese series as well.
Did you get any, just from all of us fanboys and stuff, did you ever get any pushback on any of your scale charts from people? There's got to be somebody. There's always someone out there complaining about something.
Oh God. There's always somebody that's
I gotta laugh sometimes about it,
Yeah, well, okay, first of all, you get those people that are like, no, you're stealing artwork. It's like, it's online, free for anyone.
Yep.
To look at and to use. So by that definition, it's essentially, free for use, right? So I'm not, I certainly did not claim that the art was mine. I used the art for a reference. That's all that it is. It's a reference chart. That's it, right? I did not say that I drew these figures. I just took what was available online, free for anybody to find, and put it into proper scale for everyone. So, yeah. and then on top, but yeah, there are a few people that are like, hey, I think the size is off on this, or I think I think this character is too tall, or this character is too small. Skylink shouldn't be that big.
So, well, I mean, depending on what episode you watch, they could be different colors too, so.
Well, yeah. So the only thing I do is I just come back and I fill in the official production chart, and it's like, there you go. That's how big he is. It's correct.
So here they said they're asking, Dr. Egg sell well? I feel the success of that figure would show the value of the judge being worth it to make or not. I think he sold well.
I think he did fairly well.
He went on sale pretty hardcore, and he's on sale now on My Primus.
I mean, I sold a ton of them.
Well, you did, yeah.
By the way, I still the autograph maybe a few. So when you put it on the game site.
Well, and right,
because I did promise that.
They the way I see it, sometimes people sleep on figures, but when they're kind of connected to other figures, for example, Mind Wipe for Fans Toys, that guy was a shell former for a long time, and then
Six Shot.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, boom! It's like it's just like the right energy and the right mix of new releases comes out, and they're like, I gotta have this now, and now I gotta pay a premium for it. So yeah, I think this will be that kind of thing, especially if they have, if the new figures they release are as good as Dr. Egg and stuff. People are going to want it, and get it now. Get it now while you can get in cheap.
And people have
or wait for the 3-pack.
That's true. Yeah. And I think the 3-pack would be good because if you've got one that can say what it needs to, and then the other two they're articulated, good faces. And I'd say the light up feature would be nice, at least because showing that is kind of cool, especially for people who want to take pictures. That would be probably the only feature that I would really leave in for the other two figures to make it, doable. Because like my issue, like the Swarm, was that the accessories were the only things that made them different. There wasn't enough difference in color. There wasn't enough difference in facial features. Like to me, those were 3 bots that were literally, you're buying 4 Andres. And I was just like, that's not, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
The biggest pushback that I have received about those scale posers is when I did the Beast Wars one. Oh my God. It's like, I might as well have sacrificed somebody's firstborn on the altar of Baal,
Rat Trap is too small.
Oh my God, yeah. And
Black Raptor's boobs aren't big enough.
Oh yeah, a lot of people were like, "No, it's completely wrong." It's like, no, it's not. It really isn't. If you just follow me for a second, I actually had to work backwards with the whole Beast Wars scale chart. Okay, try to follow me now. All right. In Japan, they had Beast Wars 2 and Beast Wars Neo, right? So where you had Lyo Convoy and Big Convoy, right? So the White Lion and the Mammoth, right? Now in Japan there was a Beast Wars 2 movie where Optimus Primal shows up later on in the movie, right? So that was kind of my first reference point to bridge the North American series by, from Mainframe to the Japanese series, right? Mm-hmm. So I kind of got a scale on those two. And then Lyo Convoy from Beast Wars 2 meets Big Convoy later on in Beast Wars Neo. So I had a reference right there, right? So the real point was to figure out, okay, how big are all 3 lines then compared to G1? And it was actually quite simple. And there was like a little clue that a lot of people seem to miss. Okay. If you remember Beast Wars at all, if you ever watched Beast Wars, then you'll know what I'm referring to right now. At the end of season 2, right? When Transmetal Megatron makes it into the Ark, right? And he sees Prime. Now, he goes by his forearm or his upper arm, I forget which, right? He goes right by it. From there, you can get a scale as to how big Transmetal 2 Beast Wars Megatron is, right? You got a scale right there, right? Proportions. He's small. He's really small. And then when he gets up in his face to Optimus Prime before he blasts his head off, right? You got another scale right there, right? So you do have points of reference.
Yeah.
So then again, you have to work a little bit backwards. So you got Optimus Primal that becomes Transmetal. Okay, well then you kind of size those two up, Transmetal Megatron and Transmetal Optimus Primal. And then, but then again, Rhinox, he didn't become Transmetal, so he kind of stays the same. So then you take Rhinox, and then you kind of size them up with Optimus Primal from season 1. And then, from there, everything kind of falls into place. So Beast Wars was, oh my God, Beast Wars was just such a pain to research. Everything else after that was simple with Robots in Disguise from 2001, and then the Unicron trilogy. I ended up getting all the scale production charts from that. And then the movie, the Bay films were a nightmare.
Because it didn't happen, okay? Just leave it be. They didn't.
But he did it.
But
I've got it pulled up. Let me show you.
Oh my God! Yeah, because nothing has been decent in that thing.
That's a lot. I wish I could zoom in a little more.
Oh my God! It was.
Well, you can't compare Devastator's balls. You didn't do that. That wasn't in your research.
I should have. I really should have, and I feel so ashamed.
They're right there. They're in the picture.
His little jumbly wumblies are just dangling right there.
They're larger than Optimus Prime's head.
See, there you go. So, in retrospect, you do have a scale right there.
Yeah.
So
maybe I can zoom in more. Carl,
nope,
I'll screenshot it for you.
Nope, we're good.
Ultra zoom.
We are dandy. Next thing you know, someone's like, I think I know what the issue is with like Beast Wars. Is because we always have those preconceptions that they're turning into animals, and so like we don't really know how large these things are, even with fossils, because it's always gonna be like there's gonna be extra stuff to it. Like I'm
Right.
studying physical therapy, so I understand how much larger something can be with synovial fluid, with joints, with tendons, with ligaments, with muscles, and so forth. And I think people have that issue, and it's just like, and you're always gonna have those people who are gonna fight, being like, well, Soundwave and Megatron mass shifted. I'm just like, shut up, dude. Just, you know, it's a cartoon. Just there's gonna be things that happen that the world of physics is just going to ignore. Get over it. And like
Exactly.
you're gonna like get that specific. You're just kind of like, we've never seen a dinosaur in the flesh. We're going off of inference. I was like, just it's okay.
It's
Life
like,
will move on.
Dude, it's a cartoon.
A beloved.
But yeah, also the other hint was in the first episode of Beast Wars when Cheetor is Cheetor as a cheetah. You know, he's running with the other two cheetahs, right? So you know, before he runs up and meets up with Waspinator. Well, last I checked, a cheetah was not the size of a truck. So go figure.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you also look at Waspinator. There's not any wasps that are that big anymore, but
Well,
at one
that's
point
true.
in historic history they were.
Or giant 6-foot rats, you know, so, you know.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That's only in New York.
Yeah, the rats. New Orleans.
Possibly gators, too. So, yeah.
Right.
Goldfish.
Just a side note, Mark left because his phone died, so
Oh, bummer.
yeah, he didn't drop out for no reason at all, but except for lack of charge. But guys, I gotta hit the sack. It's about that time for this old man to get it.
Yeah.
about
Here.
What time is it over there?
I was gonna say, where are you in Canada?
I am in the Texas of Canada, which would be Alberta.
Alberta. Okay.
There you go. Where
Carl,
we try to be
road
as free
trip?
as possible. Huh?
Dude, yeah. I mean, we got TFCon in Toronto. We can always make a road trip.
There you go.
I don't want to do a booth there, though. I don't want to haul all
No,
that
we just
stuff.
visit. That's the visitor thing. I'm not paying taxes on what I'm bringing back. Sorry, no.
Like the last con that we went to together, the pin came out of my trailer, and it was like a rainstorm. And man, that was a scary thing. The trailer came out of the hitch and was dragging behind us just by chains. So.
Oh, one thing before I do go. Okay, you probably have seen this online, but I have been working on this.
You doing some custom boxes?
Yes. So this one is for Masterpiece 10.
Oh, MP10, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So even has the insert. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. So everything has been a faithful reproduction of the actual G1 box, even down to
the bot. Oh man! Now does that bring some memories?
this was done by Mike Kincaid. So same guy from the Reflector Files.
Yep.
So check out his work. Now, if I can zoom in, I also did. I can't
The bio.
Yeah, I also did the bio, and I'm working on getting some red foil so you can actually take a look at this
Use the
text.
specs.
And I redid the robot points.
It's got the points,
right
yeah.
here.
Have you tried scanning that barcode at Walmart?
The barcode is, believe it or not, the barcode is the exact same as the original toy.
Do you have like an Etsy shop or something?
Yeah, I actually do have an Etsy shop. So
what's the let's see. Etsy.
That's the thing, because I barely go on Etsy.
Let
me have a look here.
Where do you post most of your stuff at?
Usually on pretty much on all of my groups, which would be on. Well, I mean, you can find me at Ratchet's Garage,
Ratchet's Garage,
Transformer Masterpiece Addicts.
Yeah,
Ratchet's
Garage. The good one.
What's that?
Was it Fans Toys Fanatics parentheses the good one?
Oh yeah, that one too. The real Fans Toys official page.
Yes, you can find Mike at any of these locations.
Yes, at any of these fine vendor locations. So, and on Etsy, just look me up, Mike Lorber. So,
Mike Lorber, that's with an L.
Yes.
And an O and an R-B-E-R.
Most of the time,
Tim can spell.
It's on the screen, but I had to count it on my fingers.
Carry the 2, divide by the 3. I don't get it.
All right, fellas. Well, it's been a good talk.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
This was fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, not a problem.
Thanks to Mark for stopping in.
Good.
I'm going to send him a new charger.
There you go.
Fast charger.
Bros help each other out.
All right, guys. Take care, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.
Catch you later.